they just don't believe in themselves. They are procrastinating, they are ruminating, and something is amiss here. And as I started to move out of my employship into entrepreneurship, I and my co-founder, we went to 16 cities in India in many different ways and spoke to about 1,000 people saying, if there is one thing that you want, what would that be? Or if you could just wish for one gift, what would that be? And over again, Madhura, very interestingly, we kept hearing this saying, belief, I want to believe, I want the confidence, I have it all, I'm just not doing it. Uh, and that's how we crowdsource the name of my company, which is Believe in Yourself. And that also kind of goes back to my opening statement. If that is the name of my company, one, I am never going to feel low or depressed or anxious. Was lockdown, for example, tough? Absolutely, it was tough. But did I go into anxiety or a depression? No. How can I? When I talk about believe in myself every single day. So pretty much it's part of our DNA. This is also the transference of our DNA that we do when we talk to all of you. Okay? So that is the biggest gift of all. What do we do? 4 large verticals. We work with companies on building their culture. The culture could be of anything: culture of performance, culture of digital mindset, culture of integrity, culture of ownership. So that's large chunk of what we do. The second is executive coaching, executive life leadership coaching, and I'll tell you what that is. In groups, one-on-one, cohorts, the entire range really. Third is diversity and inclusion. I am the United Nations emissary in India on D&I. That is my second reason, Madhura, of having called you to say I like to help. As part of the emissary in India, this is what I want to do. I have to push the mandate on women in the country. And I'm very happy to be on any platform, every platform, anytime, which kind of does that. Choose to challenge is the hashtag for International Women's Day this year. And to my mind, that's what we are here to do. Let's choose to challenge status quo. Let's choose to challenge ourselves. Let's choose to challenge other people who hold us back and, go from one place to another. The fourth large part of our vertical is what I call social leadership, helping people build their own brands, whether their own companies, and, more presence, so to say. So this is the backdrop. Yes, worked in many companies, GE, Reliance Industries, Xerox, 10 years. And I just want to talk a bit about Xerox. The first 10 years of my life, I worked with Xerox as a salesperson. When you work for a company which is aggressively sales company, and you are expected to sell photocopiers to government, to small jobbers, these photocopy shops that you go to, and corporates, you just learn to be, I'll use a strong word, almost aggressive. You learn not to take no. I mean, you're a salesperson. How can you take no? You learn to push. You learn to stand outside people's offices, for 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days. You realize it's okay to keep asking and hammering away if you need something. It's all right. If you don't get a response from one email, you send twice and thrice and fourth. And today, luckily, between all the gadgets we have, there are 16 ways we can reach a person. Same time, direct messaging, WhatsApping, etc., etc. And lots of my, all of that skills that I gained and the confidence I gained, it has helped me in my career throughout. That is also what I believe a large part of what women could do more of. And it is a skill, it is a combination of a skill and a confidence. And some of that we do in the coaching sessions. I'm going to now change gear and tell you really a bit about coaching. And there is lots of words which get tossed around. Let me tell you what coaching is not. Okay. Coaching is not, it's not counseling. That's one. Counseling stroke therapy. Many times people may just come to us and saying, we're depressed, we're anxious, I had this traumatic experience in life. Well, no, that's not coaching. You have to go to a trained, specialized therapist who will kind of work with you on that. So coaching is not that. It's not about the problems. Coaching is always about the future. It's about potential. It's about possibilities. In fact, the first thing that when I'm doing a coaching session, if I do it for any of you, the first thing I will tell you, whatever you say is okay with me, except one thing. I will not allow you to use any negative word about yourself. Simply not allowed. And you will discover after 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, because I'm going to stop you every time you do that. You will discover that your language completely changes. There's positivity, there is optimism, there is hope. You will talk about growth, scaling up, building businesses. So it's quite magical. So that is what we do in coaching. Coaching is not consulting. Consulting is what McKinsey and Deloitte and E&Y will do, saying, oh, okay, you have this problem. I've done it for 3 other companies. And here, look at my decks and look at my slides and proposals. So that's not. Coaching is also not friendship conversations. Many times people will say, oh, but I have a friend to talk to. I can call her or him at 2 in the morning. And whenever I have an issue and, why do I need a coach? Well, that's unstructured conversations. If you call a friend and say, I had a shitty day at work, you know what your friend will say? You telling me I had a shittier day at work. Let me tell you. So, and there is no continuity of the conversation. You are not front and center of a friend conversation, because the friend will always have biases, and they'll be, your conversations are colored by their challenges, their issues, their hopes as well. So this is not coaching. What is coaching then? Let's come to that. Coaching is a structured process. We like to believe that the formal coaching works the best. You can do some informal coaching. And what does formal coaching mean? It really means the coach, your executive coach, will work with you to help you explore stuff that you haven't explored about yourself ever before. You may have thought about it, an idea may have crossed your mind, but the chances are very high that you've never, ever even gone in that direction. The most, whatever apt line for coaching is, the coach will take you where you cannot go alone. The coach will take you to places where you absolutely cannot go alone. So that's one thing that a coach will do. The coach will also then help you in discovery process. And when I say discovery, it will be discovery. Lots of discovery will be about yourself, but you will also discover what stuff you can do out there. In the pandemic, the entire year, another quote that we kept saying is, when you can't go outside, it's time to go inside, right? And all of us did that. We, without even wanting it, we all went inside. We had to think, we had to reflect, we had to introspect. There were many learnings which were unleashed in a very powerful way. But you don't need with a coach, you wouldn't have needed a pandemic, because the coach does that anyway. The coach helps you go deep within yourself, very, very, very deep, and work with you to uncover, I'll just tell you 2 or 3 things, your life purpose. Most of you are working in companies or have worked in companies. And usually we know what is the purpose of the company. It's to make money, it's to grow, it's to scale up, it's to get 3x by year 2025, etc., etc. But if I were to ask you, what is your life purpose? The chances are very high you will struggle to give me an answer. The second thing that the coach will do with you is help you discover your core values. And again, as companies will always drive values. They'll say entrepreneurship. I worked with Reliance. Entrepreneurship was a value. Accountability was a value. I became very good at it. But you know what? It took me years and years later saying, that's fine. When I was in G, this was the value. When I was in Xerox, this was but what is my value? What do I really believe in and stand well for? So the coach will do all of that with you, help you discover your strengths, okay, and take you and get you to use your strengths to become bigger and better. It's like Virat Kohli, right? You cannot make Virat Kohli MS Dhoni. Virat Kohli has his own strength, and the coach, Ravi Shastri, works with Virat Kohli on his strengths, how to bat on the front foot, how to use his aggressiveness to win matches. Unlike Dhoni, which was more about stay calm and, don't lose your cool and strategize and win the match. So the coach will work with you on your strengths. There are a few kinds of coaching. I'll just quickly give you a feel so you know what to ask for. And you will hear these words interchangeably many times, so don't get confused. There is life coaching. You will see life coach written in many places. Now, life coaching is really when you want to talk about your entire life, your work, your family, your relationships, your dreams, etc., the coach. And that's the time, and the life coach will come into the play and work with you. Then there is leadership coaching. That's the one which has been more prevalent so far in the Western world, even in India. That leadership coaching is CXO. The CEO has a coach. The CXO has a coach. Also, because the fact that coaching is supremely expensive, very, very expensive. Good coaching is very expensive. So only the CEOs were given the gift of a coach. So that is leadership coaching, though now that's going from CEO to CXO to vice president to AVPs. So that's the leadership thing. When you want to navigate business environments, when you want to figure out as a leader saying, how do I still grow the business in the pandemic? When you want to figure out, shall I stop production or export or import to China? All of those decisions is what is business coaching or stroke leadership coaching all about. So life coaching, leadership coaching, then the third is business coaching. Business coaching is very sharp. Some of you are employees, maybe you want to become an entrepreneur. So you will want to talk about that, saying, okay, I want to set up my own business. So that's the coaching I need. How do I set it up? Should I set it up? Is there any competition? How will I deal with it? How can I manage? So on and so forth. Or you could say, within my existing company, I have this role, but I want to do it better and bigger and so on and so forth. So that's the business coaching. So life, business, leadership, stroke, executive. So these are the three broad words that you will hear. The first part of a coaching that you do with your coach is always going to be about yourself. We start from there. Who are you? Who are you? And I know we're not doing questions right now, but I will ask you that question, saying, who are you? And let's kind of uncover and unpeel and discover that. Because only when you know who you are can you really spring up from your strengths. You will also, how do I say, let me see, there's so much to talk about. One thing to know, absolutely very important for me to tell you, the coach does not give you the answer. The coach will help you seek your own answers. If you ask a coach saying, tell me this, you've done this so many times, Harlina, tell me. I have 1,000 ways of getting you to find the answer without telling you the answer. Okay? The biggest coach, I mean, all of us I see are Indians here. So the biggest coach is Lord Krishna. We know what he did. He never told Arjun what to do, right? But he was there as a Sarthi, as his friend, as his companion, as his confidence giver. So the role that Lord Krishna plays is really similar to what a coach will do with you or for you. Very powerful. You will win the battle. You will conquer the demons within. You will kind of, own a larger piece of the world for yourself by the time you're done with your coaching. Coaching, again, it can be powerful. Even one session can be supremely powerful. Supremely powerful if you believe and if you commit to it. Okay. The other thing that we ask everyone, if there is even a little bit of a skepticism you have, or you're a cynic, or you want to test it out to judge it, well, you don't waste your time. You have to believe and then get into it. It will not work otherwise. Okay. Some of the things we coach on. Okay, let me just give you 30 seconds and then I'll happy to take your questions. I see some pings out there. Some of the things people will come to us to get coached on in no particular order. Somebody will say, you know what? I want to navigate this tumultuous business environment today. I just don't know. I'm a CEO or I'm a business leader or I'm an entrepreneur. People are looking at me like, I have the answers, but I don't. So what do I do? So navigating change or transformation is one large part of coaching that we do. The second coaching is emotional mastery. Many people, very successful people, will come and say, you know what, I need to manage and master my emotions better. I lose my cool. I procrastinate. I don't display confidence. People tell me they can't read my face. I'm not emotionally expressive. I don't have resilience. I want perseverance. So this entire, space of emotional mastery is what happens in the coaching sessions. A third, many times people will say, we want to build a brand. I want to be seen as a thought leader. I want to be seen, people think of me as an operational leader, very strong on transactions, on operations, on the back end, on the doing part, but they don't see me as a brand, as a thought leader, as a strategic leader. So that is a large part of coaching that we do. A fourth category of coaching is whenever there is a significant change that you want to make in your life, or you're evaluating moving to a new country, changing a job, having a child, getting into a relationship, anything which you think is significant to you, and you're not clear, right? You're not clear, you don't know, is the time when a coach will play a very powerful role for you. Then there is also many times the companies will sponsor their leaders or their people for coaching, simply to say, can you make them a growth leader? Can you teach them to think growth? Can you teach them just to have a mindset of abundance? And that's a large category of coaching that we do. So I'm just giving you a feel of, if it is any of these things, you need a coach. And that's also what Bill Gates says. Everybody needs a coach. This is Bill Gates talking. You hit Bill Gates and this sentence will really pop up. So I'm going to stop here and take your comments and questions, which I think maybe, more apt. Oh, by the way, we're a big bunch of people. We're 171 coaches. So anything that you need, I'm sure we have it in this group of 171, whether you're a millennial or an entrepreneur or a woman.
Thanks, Harlina. It was quite interesting to hear you. I'm just wondering, is for coaching to happen, for a coachee to speak to a coach, uh, is it important that they know each other, or it just could be absolutely that I start my coaching with you tomorrow, or somebody else reaches out to me, the coaching bit?
No, not at all, Shalini. You don't need to know the coach, and the coaches come to you with many, many, many credentials and hours of training. For example, I've clocked more than 1,000 hours of training. The first thing that we are taught is in the first conversation we do with you, Shalini, is to build safe space and trust with you. It's magical. So that is the goal we have. That first conversation that we do with you, you will be shocked at the end of it, saying, "My God, I've never said so many things to anyone in my life. How did this happen?" So that is really our job, Shalini, to inspire that confidence and trust from the word go with you.
Without knowing the person in detail, I think.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. In fact, it may be better. There are no biases at all.
sure. Thank you.
Yes,
I
Priyanka.
have a question. Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
What is the difference between a coach and a psychologist?
Many times coaches are psychologists as well. Okay? Because coaching is about human behavior. It's knowing what's really going on in a person's minds and brain. So psychology is an entire stream of science which kind of does only that, but a coach will use bits and pieces of it. Like I said, the coaches are all trained and credentialed and they've given exams, etc. So a lot of that is given to them.
And do you need a clear defining mark when you go to a coach that I'm coming for professional? Or is it like a merge between a personal and a professional, and the coach decides which one is it that that human being actually needs at that point of time?
No, Priyanka. So you don't really necessarily need to know that, but you must, when you have your first conversation with the coach, you must be able to talk to them freely. And the coach will help you declutter your conversation and come out with saying, are you thinking about these three things? And then you will say, oh, yeah. So it's all right. You don't need so much of clarity. If you could do it all by yourself, then then you wouldn't need coach.
True. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Harlina, just a question. Do you also coach? Do you have the expertise within your system to coach youngsters who are just about joining work, getting ready to join work?
So lots of coaching these days is also for millennials, which is very younger people. Believe it or not, these people have a lot going on. In fact, we may think that they're starting out in the career, their challenges are more, the expectations they have from themselves and everyone from them are very 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 high, and they have to act like like the dude all the time. So there's a lot happening which they need help with. So the answer is yes. And when we
Uh,
do a coach mapping, let me just give you another data point. So let's say, Nayan, you asked me this question. There is something, a process, a part of the process of assigning a coach, which is called coach matching and a coach chemistry session. Really, we will understand what is the profile of the person, etc., and then see which coach to give you. There is a relationship coach, there is millennial coach, there is entrepreneur coach, there is business coaches, there are leader coaches, there are women coaches. So all of it.
How many sessions are required for leadership coaching?
There is no number, Sugandha, but it depends on the goal. It depends on the goal. If somebody's saying, I want to build optimism as a muscle, because I'm a leader and I'm expected to be optimistic always, it'll take time. It'll take 6 7 months. Um, it's not linked to the number of sessions necessarily. But if I were just wearing my corporate hat and you had asked me to give you a proposal for the company, I would always say 10 to 12 sessions, 6 to 7 months.
Right.
For the change, for the demonstrable, visible change to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you, Adina.
You're welcome.
Harlina, I mean, follow up on the question that, yes, you achieve that goal for 10 to 12 weeks or 14 weeks. And what is the frequency that, it may be that you have a different goal now. you come back to it, or maybe wanted to strengthen the one which you have already done it? How exactly that relationship work?
Okay, so in the beginning, we like to keep the session every 2 weeks, simply because that's the time there is discovery and exploration happening, and there is momentum. After, let's say, 2 sessions, maybe 3 sessions, you can, that time goes from every 3 weeks to 4 weeks, you should do a session. Now, why that? Because during the conversation you have with your coach, there will be some stuff that you have to do. And this is not like homework. It could be reflections. You introspect, you think, you figure out, what's really happening. That's the way it goes. In the beginning, the frequency is more, and then it can begin to wean off. Having said that, a good coach, and you see, please remember, I'm using the word good coach. If you ever get a coach, make sure you have to get the right coach. Okay, that is the most important decision you will make for yourself. The good coach will always be available to you 24/7. It's see, I mean, people bare their souls to us. They talk about their deepest fears and their, wildest dreams. And many times, they need to speak to the coach like right then and there. I already have a schedule of coaching with one of my clients, let's say. Well, that's fine. I have a coach call set up with him for next week, but he needs to take the decision now whether I should accept this new job offer headhunter is chasing, or should I not. Well, then they just ping you, and a good coach will make the time or be available. Also, between one session to another, there is still action which happens. There's WhatsApping, the sharing of article, just a little video. All of that continues to happen. Again, a good coach will always have a rule. I always have that saying, if I send you something, you have to acknowledge it, not with a smiley and an emoji, but with some insight that you've got. Otherwise, the coach will just stop doing it. And
Surely, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So I had a follow up from there. There's so many institutes providing these coaching certifications, and if, for example, I want to become a coach, then how do we get there?
Well, you talk to me offline. I'm part of your network now.
Absolutely.
I'll be able to give you lots of whatever insights or answers. You have to go with the best, no? And who asked that question? I couldn't really figure out.
That Shalini Singh.
Okay, Shalini, you must go with the best, because you're going to be I'm assuming it's going to be a monetization of your coaching credentials you want to do at some point. You're not just doing it one fine day because you love it. If that is the case, then you have to go with the best. ICF, International Coaching Federation certification, you must pick up. Lots of people are doing it. Erickson does it. I mean, whole host of people. Peter does it. But offline, I'll tell you offline.
Fair enough. Thank you.
We're slowly coming to the end of this very fascinating session. And thank you, Shalini, thank you, Harlina, for that. And thank you to everyone for the questions.
One last, not necessarily a question, but something that I thought, because a lot of us don't know what coaching is. It is for the coachee to kind of act, right, while the transformation and for the transformation to happen, it is for the coachee to act on whatever she decides. So Harlina, as part of this process, if you do see, and obviously I'm saying that if someone is paid up and committed to it, the person will, act. But if you see that someone is not really acting between one session, the second session, or whatever, what is it that, the coach does?
Nothing.
So
the ownership.
Do you stop that engagement, or?
Absolutely, immediately. The ownership lies on the coachee. It's like Ravi Shastri is the coach for Indian cricket team. If Virat Kohli chooses not to come for training or starts to drink beer before a night or is not sleeping, well, he will just stop and pick somebody else, gets to be the captain of the team. And I'm going to take these quick questions on the chat that I see. Shalini, you asked her, when does one need a coach in life? Very quick answers. 2 times. One, when you run out of answers yourself. There's something that you want to know and you don't have the answer. That is a trigger point for coaching for you. The second is when there is something larger than life that you have set out to do. Leaving employship and becoming an entrepreneur. Moving to another country. Adopting a child. Taking this huge leap of promotion from an AVP to a VP, which you stuck at for a very long. So that is the second trigger point for you to look at the coach. Don't blame the system. Don't cry wolf. Don't think, your boss is bad, your manager is bad. Get a coach. When I was setting out to do my own business, I had an entrepreneur coach. Now I have a growth coach, which means really this coach is helping me scale up my business. So at different points in time, and somebody asked that question, you can also, your goals will change. Sometimes the same coach can work with you throughout, and sometimes you may get another coach to help you specifically. Then Shohini said, how can the learnings from the coach be sustainable and coachee continue to apply them? Well, that is also the job of the coach. The coach will normally not leave you unless it becomes that behavior that you're trying to build becomes a part of your DNA. The coach will just not kind of let go. So you don't have to worry about that. That is something that the coach kind of takes care. As long as you're committed, as long as you're into it, and as long as you own the whole piece. We work on behaviors, by the way. See, you've heard me use the words mindset, language, behavior. So your language will change. You speak to me 3 times, you will use all the language. Language changes, behavior automatically changes. Behavior changes, business results come. From belief to behavior to business. That is what our Vedic scriptures say. Okay, you read my mind. All right, then. Those are the 2, 3 I saw in the chat.
Thank you. I think we've covered the questions, and this is just the beginning. So I'm sure, Harlina, that we will be seeing much more of you, and of course your entire network of coaches. The process, and I think maybe Nija, would you like to sort of quickly give them an overview of what the process will be for signing up? We have a form and all of that. So that form has been doing the rounds. We just started, in fact, circulating the form, and you have to obviously fill that form up. To sort of avail of coaching. That will actually go to Harlina's office, and their team will then figure out. She mentioned that there was a matching process which will happen, and then from there on, their team actually takes over and sort of goes through the whole process. Harlina, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, just a little bit more, Madhura, on more than the process is the kind of coaches. So we have shortlisted 4 as of now, and we'll see if there's more interest. These 4 people, all of them come with 25 to 30 years experience. One of them has been a managing director of a bank. The other is a digital transformation leader for a $50 billion company. The third was a marketing sales head for this couple of companies in the Southeast Asia. And then there's me. So this is the profile of people we're bringing to you. So I don't think we can go wrong with anything.
I don't think so at all. I think this sounds absolutely fantastic. So that's the process, and then you will soon hear from Harlina's team. From our side, Nija will be there. If you have any questions, or if you're trying to figure out how to do this, then Nija and I are there. So please feel free to ask us anything. Though we don't see the need for that too much, but if there is something that you guys want to do, the idea of
Madhura, if you're okay, I can spend 30 seconds to just bring clarity, because I noticed lots of the questions were process questions. See, that's the minds are working, right? Because you're planning, what should I do next? Yes. So you will get a link. Where you say, yes, I want to get coached. And in the drop down, there will be a question saying, what are you looking at? There'll be a couple of options. Emotional mastery, I want to build a brand. I'm thinking of evaluating a business. I'm stuck in my career. I need relationship advice. So you can tick those options. That'll help us see which coach will work the best for you. The moment you do that and you submit the form, within 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, you will get an email from our office saying, this is the coach who has been assigned to you, and they'll be marked on the copy, your number, their number will be there. And then the coach will just reach out to you, or you could reach out to say, let's set up the first session. That's all. Normally, always block 1 hour for your coaching session. We always advise, even after the 1 hour, make sure you're not jumping into another call. These are deeper, whatever, conversations. That's it. So I think 4 coaching session, Madhura, we said.
We said we'll start with 4. And then
and see where it goes. So we've offered 4 coaching sessions to you as of now. And then we said, we'll see how it goes. Is it working for you, working for us? And then we could do some more.
So Shalini, for normal coaching sessions, there are, as Harlina said, there are pretty steep fees associated. But for Aspire for Her, Harlina and her team have very kindly given this to us absolutely free of cost. So that's why it's a very valuable gift. We really, really appreciate your generosity, and Harlina, I think you have done more for our platform, than just by this single gesture, than many of the things that we have been able to achieve so far. So this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Happy to.
Just to add to Madhura, this is the best Valentine's Day that we could have asked for at this stage of our life. Thank you so much, Harlina. This is so kind of you and Madhura for bringing this to all of us.
Thank you. And with that, I think we can.
So much,
Yeah,
Madhura.
thank you,
Thank you,
Shalini.
Harlina. Thank you, Harlina. Thank you, Madhura.
Thank you so much. Thank you. With that, I think we can bring this session to an end. The idea of getting Harlina here was just exactly for this, to answer your questions and to sort of demystify what coaching actually is, because I suspected that a lot of us needed the demystification. So thanks a lot. We'll bring this meeting to a close, but this is just Harlina's beginning. Yeah, we do need a picture. Yes. Sneha will kill us.
I will be questioned when I leave this room.
Yeah, so will I. Please, Sneha will kill us if we don't have a picture.
Can we get our videos on for a minute?
Please put your videos on. Okay.
Either a hashtag sign or an A sign or a heart sign. My kids have taught me this for
Oh,
the post.
Valentine's Day, is it?
Oh, let's do a Valentine's sign, right? Should we do this? Come on. Oh no, this is not nice, right? This, yeah. Okay, guys.
So I'm taking the picture.
Come on, Harlina, yeah. Yes. Sunita, Rashmi, Neha, Tamil, Shohini, Aparna. Rukmani, it's too dark. You can't see your heart.
Okay, I've taken a few.
Thank you.
My video is troubling me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Harlina. We're waiting to see more of you on Aspire for Her. And very, very happy that you made the start today on this very good day, auspicious day.
I've already filled up my form.
All right, that was fast work.
Even I have right away. So you can understand our interest in getting the coaching.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.